Hi, good evening, everyone. I hope my voice is clear enough.
Good evening, doctor.
Yeah, good evening, Madam Roots. Good evening, everyone. Thank you.
Yeah, good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening. Thank you all for joining this section. I know it's quite impromptu. Happy New Year, first of all. I really appreciate everyone joining. I hope the year is treating all of us better than that last year.
Same to you. Happy New Year to you too.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Same to you,
Happy
sir.
New Year.
Happy New Year, sir.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year, everyone. Madam,
Dr. Charles, Happy New
yeah,
Year.
Mr. Samuel. Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining this section. This is going to be like a pre session to our next weekend workshop, which is going to start officially on the 27th. 24th, rather, 24th, not 27th. So the major thing I
Mhm.
want us to really get out of today is clarity. I don't, some people sent me messages. I don't know. I still don't know what to offer yet. What am I going to put on the app? All of those many questions, right? I don't want us to get confused by.
Mhm.
The idea here is to develop what's going to be on the app together, and let me bring your mind to some areas that you might not really be thinking about, and also how you can as well make this investment and this period of time one of the best one for your one of the best planting seasons for yourself, right? Because the goal here is really to plant seeds. And this year, most people are going to fall into the trap of trying to focus on everything that's going to be happening with the policies the governments they're going to introduce, the noise that's going to be happening around us, right? But this season is the season to plant. This is really a very strategic year that if you can spend the time to plant online, you are going to reap that reward in the coming years. So one thing I would love for us to really do in this entire process is just have an open mind. Just have an open mind. It's the only thing that can really help us to grow and evolve. An open mind is a mind that is welcoming to any idea. I'm not here to push my own beliefs and ideas on you. I'm just a guide to share some of the principles and some of the rule of or the thought processes that has really helped me personally. And I've been thinking, okay, if I'm going to go back, because with the Profit Automation Masterclass I created, when I started reviewing it again, I realized that I shared too much on that program. It was not supposed to be at the level of, I know I tried to make it from beginner to advanced, but then again, that came at a cost to making people start feeling overwhelmed by the too much information, right? That most people don't really need in this stage. So in this, that's why I said in this phase, we're not going to talk about nothing tech. I'm already working on a way for the tech side to be handled for you. So now what I just need you to do for me in this process is come with your all and come with an open mind. And together, let's just develop something from your mind, from your experience, because that's your unique versions of the different experiences, different lives you've lived, and the lessons you've learned in those processes. Let me let me mute everyone here so that we can sound. Okay. Okay, mute. Who's there again? Okay. So the different experiences and the lessons we've learned in our life, that's really what I want us to bring. And I'm going to help you. I'm going to guide you on how we can structure this into something that can help someone. So this particular session, I'm going to try to be very brief, and then we jump into Q&As before we close for the day. So let me just go over what.
Excuse me, is it from my side? I can't hear.
Can you hear me? Can everybody hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, I guess.
I'm hearing you.
Okay, great. So I guess you should check. The person who said they're not hearing me, kindly check your network and see if that's a problem. This network can go and come and go. So let me share my screen so that we can get started. And I want to be very respectful to everybody's time here. Use this share. Okay, okay. Show the screen on my sharing. Yeah. So I guess you can see my screen at the moment. Can we see my screen?
Yes, please. I'm seeing it.
Okay, great. Stop moving. Okay, yeah. Okay. Okay, good. So today's focus is number one, we're going to talk about the overview of what we are doing here in this entire thing. Because some of us jump into the offer, we hear this thing can make money, but what are we trying to achieve with this project? What am I trying to help us achieve? We're going to talk about that today. Then we're going to talk about the 3 keys to breakthrough. That is the 3 keys to that will enable you succeed in this thing, to not make this another thing you dabble into and then eventually you don't get results from it, right? And then we'll talk about the 3 skills that you must master in this process. Don't worry, these are not skills that are technical or anything. These are normal skills that you should already have been used to by now. My own is just to bring your awareness to it. And then we'll talk about the trifecta. This trifecta has to do with the 3 core pillars around how this entire business as it may works, function, right? Because really we are talking about how do you, if you look at the world today, last one we talk about Q&A. So let me just talk about the overview. If you look at the world today, one of the things you are going to notice, really, we cannot deny, is that social media, the internet has come to destabilize so many things, and the way the traditional things were really created, money and how money was being created, was invented, or was being earned, all of those things has been destabilized by social media and the internet, right? And from where I'm sitting now, as somebody who plays online 24/7, I will tell you that in the next 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, a lot of professions that people spend their years mastering, studying, they are going to be irrelevant because of the technology that are being built on top of this new thing called AI. And most of us still don't know what that is yet, how powerful that thing can be, but it's really a destabilizer to so many things at the moment. So if you look at the world now, you see young people becoming successful, young people buying houses, things that a lot of people worked 40 plus years to try to achieve that they could not achieve in their entire years of working. A young boy will just come today and then just go do one thing online. Before you know, you start making money and buy a house with just like that. Success is money just being floating around. My own thing in this entire process is to see how I can, because for what I'm looking at, when I look at society and from where I grew up and how things are evolving, I see a danger in our society, which is a loss we are losing the very core of what makes us Africans and what makes us what has made us thrive as a culture, as a society, and that is really at the core of some of the things that were passed down to us from our ancestors, their own discoveries as they lived their life, their own wisdoms, their philosophies, and how they were able to really navigate this world and created a society that has been able to survive these years. But now, with the threats and the immediate threat that technology is really creating, it's making ignorance become a very huge thing in our society today. And with a society that has so much a high level of ignorance, what will happen there is just this fall in how things are done. You see a society where young kids will not have any core moral, no sense of identity, and because everybody would just want to be copying anything they see out there, right? All the things our parents gave us as a normal way of thinking, we are going to lose that. I'm not saying that we should. I'm speaking from my own perspective as a young man. I'm not saying that we should stick to them, right? But there's something that there's a way from the world I came from, growing up in the village. There are certain lessons I learned in those early years where there was no technology, in those things that they were just introduced to us. The certain lessons that I learned from there, certain things that are part of me today, that is helping me navigate in this new world of technology. It's the reason why I'm more slow to things, in the sense that I don't jump to trends. I'm not in the speed of light trying to I must make life, or I'm trying to overdo things or cut corners in life and all of these things, right? Because of certain things I saw growing up. And I think it's a problem where we don't have people who preserve that. And my role in this, as someone who understands the technology part of it, is I realized that I could not sit behind a keyboard anymore and just focus on selling my own products. So I want to that was the reason why I really made this offer, to see how I can, from everybody here, how I can bring some core strategies, philosophies, mindsets, way of thinking, and preserve those, turn them into structured frameworks. When I say frameworks, strategies that anybody at any time can, maybe they're struggling with certain problems, that can go, I've tried all of these modern things, it's not working. So let me try this way my grandparents used to do it. And then you see that most times when you try the strategies, they work. So in the core of what we are trying to achieve here is, I'm trying to see how I can help you preserve, some of the core patterns that you have used to live your life, that might have given you that has given you result, not might have, because it must be proven, that has given you result in certain areas of your life. It might not really relate to money, because everybody think it must be money, money, money. No, there's health, there's relationship, there's how you deal with your children, there's how you dealt with certain ailments that came your way. There's how you manage your small business that has been able to sustain you for a while. There's how you have been able to navigate your career when you were working in your different industries. There's how you lived your life as a parent, how you raised your kids, and you are seeing that, oh, with the small things you taught these kids, society might see them as small, but these are the things that made your kids stand out in the world. These are core things that I really want to see how to extrapolate and then preserve them. So, in the core of what we are doing really is, I don't want you to overcomplicate the entire process. Think of it like you are trying to advise your child who might be at maybe their early adult years, or maybe later part of their adult years, or maybe you are trying to advise yourself from 20 years ago. You're trying to tell them, okay, based on what you know now in your own life experiences about this particular topic, not everything in life, right? Not every, because nobody can know it all. Even in my own life, there's so many things I struggle with. my bread and butter is technology and finding solutions to problems. But certainly, I don't know a lot about other things. So me, I'm always looking to learn. So there might be a small part in your life that you've just somehow that it has just come in, so it has come easy to you. People struggle to do that thing or get that result or solve that problem, but for you, anytime that thing just comes up, you just figure out, you just find a way. There's just this natural way of just you might have done it so many times now, it's not part of you, so it's not habits to you. You don't even think that's something anymore, right? So you be like, you don't even think about it when I say you can monetize your knowledge or monetize your experiences or the things you've gone through in life. You don't think about them because these are just things that are just who will buy these things? I beg me, me, am I special? So my goal in all of this is to see how we can bring that out, right? So see it as you are giving your advice to a younger version of yourself or a child or your grandchild that's going to grow up to a certain level in the future, right? You want to give them your advice about this particular topic, about this problem that you've seen, you've paid attention to so well. This problem, whenever you face this problem in your time, when it's 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, or even if it's current time, right? This is the way they taught me to solve it to, and everybody that have been using this strategy, they've been really getting results with it. So at the core of what we are doing here is really to monetize our advice. You have learned something, you have gone through life, you've seen certain things in life, and you've noticed certain patterns. I'm going to talk about that soon, but the goal here is how can you now, you know, document this advice so that anybody who's going through that problem can just find that advice like a book, right? And then they can just read it and be like, oh, so this is this manual to solve this problem. Okay, okay, okay. So I have to do this one first. Let me go and try it. Okay, do this one second. Let me go and try it. And eventually, when they try it, they are going to get a result, right? That's going to help them overcome that situation. So I hope that's very, very clear. Let's just put it on the chat. Let's not use our voice anymore so that we don't interrupt the section. So let's just use the chat so that I'll be reading that and then we can have a smooth flow. So there's this function called chats. Check it on your phone. Later we are going to do our Q&A, then maybe we can start unmuting ourselves from there. So, you know, have you seen the function chat? Just check chat and let me know if you understand the overview. Okay, great. So my chat will be here. Good. So in the world today, we have over 8 billion people, right? This is the global scale. In Nigeria, we have over 200 million. That's still a huge number. And you are just a dot in the scope of things, in the larger spheres of life. You're just one dot inside, one blip, one human life that is just existing in the moment. And one of the things that I want us to really come to conclusion with is the idea that everything we are doing here, we shouldn't really look at it as, even though the goal is really to make money out. I promise you, if the thing for you is to go through this entire phase and the only thing you think about is how can I benefit from this, you have already lost. You've lost already. Because the thing with money is why Nigeria is so poor as a country is that we have been, forced to believe in this hustle culture. Is it hard work, let's hustle, do anything for money, anything for money. And yet we are doing anything for money, but you see that we are still the most poorest country, poorest people in the world. The reason why it's quite simple when you look at it is because you see with politicians today, a lot of them have a lot of money, but when you really get to know many of them personally, there's this sense of like, I'd rather not even make money again if this is what money is going to give you. I've seen so many like that. But like, is this really what wealth is about? This is irritating because of the kind of people they are when you get to know them personally. This is not just about politicians, but this still ties down to every other areas in our culture today, where you see so many people have demonized wealth. We've demonized the thing called making money, and then we made it feel like, oh, the only way to just make money is to be a dubious person, right? But the goal here is, how do you now retain your core purpose in life and make money with it? The reason why I went all in on online things from the beginning was I got to discover that it was the only thing that could allow me do the two things I love. Number one is to impact others and also to make money. I love to make money because money gives you access to so many possibilities. People talk about money does not give you happiness. When you don't know what to do with money, yes, it wouldn't give you happiness, especially when you've not found yourself as a person, when the only thing that you think is valuable in your life are the things that money can buy. But really, if you understand what you could do in the life of others, impacting others, helping others, and also helping your family and your immediate environment and people around you, and how you can impact other people's life with money, you realize that money is actually very important. So the goal here is, how do you mesh both of the both worlds together, whereby you have your purpose aligned and you are also being able to make money. But in to figure out how to merge the two together, I don't want you to consider this side first, this aspect of money first, because this is the thing that really destroys so many people's creativity. So they look at it like, who will pay for this thing? So because in their mind, nobody will pay for this thing, and the thing in their mind now is, I want to make money. They now just kill that idea. So not knowing that that idea might actually be the thing that links you to your purpose, which is the main thing we need to discover that will help us really thrive. I don't know if I'm making sense. I'm going to be speaking in a lot of deep terms today because I really genuinely want to. I'm looking for the 2, 3, 4, 5 persons that can get this, and we can extract their purpose out of them and then digitalize it. That's really the goal. Yeah. Please highlight the overview of today's meeting again. I can go back. Okay, we are going to have our Q&A section, but if we go back and forth like that, we are going to have issues, right? So just follow the lessons. If you are coming in for the first time, just chill and follow the lessons. Okay, we are going to have your Q&As. So now, yes, don't have your core values over greed of money, because that's the thing that really blocks the universe from depositing its ideas into you, right? I've seen even for my own life as well, right? There was a certain period where my entire thing was just, I need to make money, 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 money. But then my vision was so limited, because now the universe do not give you a big vision, do not allow you to see further when the only thing you see is something immediate, in the sense like surviving. I want to just make money and maybe buy a car, do this one, this one. You don't see beyond that, and you cannot really make a lot. It's when you can expand your mind to see a bigger thing in front of you, that's when you can really, wow. So now the possibility are now huge. So this is you inside this entire big planet, right? You're just one dot inside there. So the goal here is, when you talk about purpose really and money, we remove money from the equation first. The thing we want to identify is, like, how do you become relevant in this world whereby your life is now your life is that important to another person's success, if that makes any sense. Your life is not important in another person's success, in the sense of, like, how can you, from the things you've learned and discovered in your life, go outside yourself and help another person get the thing that you want most, whatever it is you might want most, right? It might be money, or it might be anything. Because if you study history, you realize that the ones who have really lived a great life and they've lived that life, they say, this person is wow, this person achieved an amazing life. People shared on for their death, and they maintained relevant long after they died, right? And their family still kept on benefiting from that relevance. those people were able to impact a lot of other people's life. They were able to influence other people's world, right? Positively. So the idea here is that you might not help somebody make money, but your existence and the things you know might help them solve a problem that they are going through. For instance, there's a lady who she she was able to figure out some minor things that she did where she was pregnant, right? And according to her story, she said that she was really shameful when she get put to bed because people started laughing at her. She was overweight. Thing was just it really affected uh, her mental health until she went into this thing called intermediate fasting, and she did it. She did it for a while, and then the thing really shaped her body again. She went to the gym also. She just found this intermediate and natural exercise. She was able to burn that fat, and then that just changed her life, gave her more confidence, and that became her story. And guess what? That story that she intentionally wrote inspired thousands of other women to see the hope in the fact that, oh, I have put to bed, but I can still retain back my body. I can still go back to my original form and even look more better, more sexier, right? And she shared her strategies with them. She's not trying to be I'm the person that knows all of this. So I'm a medical doctor. She's not a medical. She's just a human being who found a way to solve a problem for herself. And she chose not to keep it to herself because she knew how depressing the feeling was when she was going through that phase. So sharing that information with others, she was able to inspire thousands of people, helped them. She became a success. And people that followed that strategies, a lot of them got results, and also she changed a lot of people's life. Now, the ripple effect for that is that most of those people who she changed their life and helped them get their confidence back, those people, some of them, there's a lady she talked about who went on to start a multi-billion-dollar fashion empire. And that lady was talking about the story, and he pointed to this person, said, "This is the person that made me start this brand because after I got my confidence, there's this idea I've been working on for a long time. I didn't even know how I could do it. I went to pull it off. Now she is able to use her own fashion brand to help thousands, millions of people, thanks to that woman who shared her own story and her own strategies on how she solved the problem for herself." So you see how this entire thing links. So you see that that's the ripple effect we're talking about, whereby you are one person in the world, but you could help one person, and then that one person, the ripple effect starts going further to help another person, moving further to help another person, and you look at it this way, which is this statement that says, your success in life is really, the reason why you should never hold back on what you could become in this world is because a lot of people's success, their destinies are tied to yours. That's the thing that really scares me the most. That's why I really find a way I try as much as I can to put myself in uncomfortable positions to be able to see how can I serve more, because I realize that if I do not pay the price today, so many generations, so many people would they will never have a chance. I'm the one person out of generations of people from where I come from that could really share the light to this environment and say, it's actually possible to come from here and still be someone, right? That can inspire someone tomorrow and say, oh, I come from here, let me still use this person's strategy and go figure my own thing out. And then they might eventually win, and then they too inspire other people, and then keep inspiring three more generations, right? You have started that ripple effect. This is how people's destinies as well are tied to you. I know we're supposed to be talking about money, but I really want to frame our minds to service, service. Dean Graziosi was the one who really made me understand this thing. Like, if you want to make a lot of money, focus on serving. Find it difficult to is this the solution to other people's problem that money. Yeah. That's beautiful. So it's all about service. You must serve. You must serve. If you look at all the religious leaders that created a movement of religions, right? That Jewish religion, Christian religion, Muslim, a lot of them, at the core of everything they did is they serve. So you that wants to leave a legacy, you that wants to leave impact, you must come back to the foundation of like impact means to serve. That's the point I'm just trying to make us understand. Your purpose is to serve. How you serve now differentiates every one of us, right? How you choose to serve. You might choose me, I choose to serve with what I know now with tech and all of these things, right? You might choose to serve in your own way, the things you've learned, you choose how you want to serve. And at the core of all of us, if not for the fact that the country has created a generation of desperate people, at the core of Nigerians, we are genuinely good people who genuinely want to serve. It's just that the country has created a system that does not reward people who genuinely serve. So this is us bringing that back to the foundation that, for me to get what I want, which is the money, I have to serve. I have to provide value first. That means for you to provide value, for you to provide it to someone else, to give value to someone so that it can help them, you must go identify your own value. This is really where the foundation comes from. Because I always tell my partner this, which is like, you cannot give what you do not have. As a parent, you cannot give to your child what you do not have. It's not about do as I say. It's about they do as you do. You want to serve, you must go find your own value. That value, it's your purpose, it's what you were, it's your own contribution to humanity. Is where your own part comes into play. You might have gone through so much, done so many things, trying to figure life, 40, 60, whatever age it is, right? You now find out that there's just one thing that has been at the back of everything you've done ever since. You've been you've been neglecting it, or you might have been just doing it, just let me just do it. But then again, that might have been the thing that you are supposed to just do all your life. So now it's bringing us back to that foundation to say, okay, let's identify the value in us first before we go talk about the money out there, because the money is already there. You just need to bring the value to come and collect it, because money will always follow value. So I hope we are clear on this phase, how we as individuals, we are so important in this entire scope of this. Out of these 8 billion people, we are very, very important, because there's a part you must play in this universe that will allow another generation of people continue to exist and grow and evolve. And if you refuse to play that part, you are selfish, you are wicked, and you don't deserve anything good. That's just the honest truth. And that's why most people really suffer and struggle till they die, because they have refused to look beyond themselves. They've just focused on what they want. What do I want? I want to eat. Okay, let me go and work for eating. Let this one. No. Now it's about identifying your own value. And that value itself is the thing that I want us to nurture, build, and develop into a product that we put inside eDreams, because this is a project that I want to give my life to. So to ensure that I do that and be confident in the kind of products that are there, I want to ensure that. That's why I did not really make it a big thing where a lot of people will get access to, right? I'm going to be vetting every product, because I don't want nobody to tarnish the brand itself, right? So that's where everything come back to your own value you carry, right? And those are some of the things we are going to be talking about. I hope we are following. Are we following what I'm saying so far? I know you have questions. Just jot as much as you can jot now. We are going to have a session for Q&As soon. So now let's talk about the 3 keys to breakthrough. So these are the 3 things that, for me, are the biggest hindrance to people's success in life. And it was something that I struggled to understand for a very long time. And it was just recently that I really got it. And I decided to share it, because if you can understand this itself, this particular formula, this framework. I learned it from Tony Robbins a long time ago. That was about 6 years ago. And it has always come back and over again, but I never got it until recently, where I realized I've been running with the framework for subconsciously for a while now, even without even knowing about it. So I want to share these 3 breakthroughs to success. These are the 3 keys that will help you succeed in anything you do in this world, right? You might have had your own frameworks to get what you want, but now this is me giving you something that has been tested in several industries by so many people, and this is going to help you understand. Because when I hear people tell me, I don't know, I don't have a product to sell, I don't know, I don't think I have any value, I don't they give me all these things. You see the reason why all of that happened. So there are 3 things to this thing, right? Which is like we have the state, we have the story, and we have strategy. You see, the strategy is the easiest part of the equation here. This strategy is how you do something. It's easy to teach a strategy. It's very, very easy to teach strategy. We all have strategies that we've used to achieve our results. There have been times in our life whereby we've met obstacles head on, and then like, no matter what we did, we tried, nothing worked until we just did one thing. It might be something that we might have tried before, but then again, we just tried it and changed one side of it, and then before you know, we just got what we were looking for, and then that's it, right? Strategy. That's how you achieve something, how you do something to get what you want, right? That's your plan, a curated plan that has been strategically organized in a way that will lead you to a particular result. That's the strategy. Everybody have access to strategy. If you want to start a business and you go meet somebody who's already into that business, they will give you their strategy. They'll tell you, okay, well, this strategy, if they're honest anyway, they'll tell you, this is how I get this result. I do this, I do this, I do that. All those step-by-step things are the strategy, right? This is really what we are going to extract later when we find our value. That strategy, how we are going to achieve that result or solve that problem. That step by step is how we are going to achieve. That's what we are going to package and add our own personal touch to it and then form our product later on. But understand that at the core of everything we do, we use strategy. If you look at society today, one of the things that has been, I think that's being changed now. One orthodox mentality we have from back in the day was like, oh, if you want to succeed, the path is this: go to school, graduate, come out with the best results, and then when you're done with that, you move into the labor market and then get an employment, and then you start working and work till you retire at some point in your life, and then that's just life, right? That's the strategy that have been used repeatedly for ages now. But now I think the world is evolving to a different path whereby most people are seeing a lot of the flaw in that pattern of thinking, which is limiting so many people today, because now we are creating so many informed, ignorant people. They are informed, but they are ignorant anyway. So the strategy now is how we've lived our life. Most people have lived their life. So now that strategy is always there. There's always strategy to everything. If you start, when we talk about the next point, you're going to understand this better. But understand that there's always strategy to everything. Even the way you parent your first kid, you will learn some things from it, and then you apply some of those principles to the second kid, the second child. You do that with the third one. Before you know it, you have your grandchildren. Your children will come. Mommy, how do you do this now? This is my daughter is doing this. You now give them your own strategy. Okay, when you are doing like this, you have to pat them on the back or do like this, do like this. Those are strategies. Then the one thing that really stops us most times, really 99% of the time, is the story. What is the story though? This is really very, very important. This story is a collection of limited or limiting beliefs that we've accumulated over time. They've just come from how we were raised, the things we were exposed to, the information we were taught, right? Most people never took action on something that they wanted to do because of these stories that they keep telling themselves. These stories are the interpretation you give to the things that happens to you when something goes wrong in your life. Something goes wrong, and then the first thing, for my own world where I come from, the first thing people do is they start blaming somebody, or blaming their ancestors, blaming this one, their parents, blame that one. They find all of these people to blame. And then when they do all of these things, they realize that over time, I always use my mom as an example. My mom had started developing this. She had this belief whereby she believed that money cannot remain in her hand. That anytime she makes money, money just there's baskets in her hand that just takes spiritual basket that sips the money away. When in reality, it was actually her own bad habits that she had with money, a bad relationship with money, how she spent it to buy things that are not really relevant, and then she spends, and then money goes, and then you believe the stories that somebody came up with somewhere and tell you that this is how the story is. So you see, all these stories we tell ourselves are the beliefs that now start to run in our lives subconsciously. That's why when we want to do something, sometimes we are head back. I'm not a tech person. I cannot do this thing. Maybe because of sometimes you try to do computer for a while, then you just didn't get it because maybe they didn't explain it well, and then from there you just pick up the story that I'm not really good with tech. Or there's some, we hear all these stories now starts. They are just at the back of our mind, just limiting us. They're there. The voice, pa 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 pa. Anytime you want to do certain thing, pa 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 pa. Do something, ta 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 ta. The key to changing your life is really to change the story. Most times when you change your story by reconditioning yourself to believe a new story, that's when you can really change your life. That's when the strategy will not start working. That's why you can take a program about how to get a result, but because of the stories you tell yourself or the stories you've already believed about how things work or what things are, you will not take action on that thing, and then you not get the result because the strategy is obviously there, but the story is just not empowering you to take action. So this story is where most of us need to spend more time in. Where we talk about, I don't have anything of value to share. Me, what do I know? That is a conditioning that we've given ourselves to. We've allowed ourselves to accept this identity whereby it's okay to just be in the shadows. Let me just be in the shadow. I don't know anything. It's okay. I don't know anything. We just want to hide in the shadow. And you see, that story is so limiting and so disempowering that it stops us from really tapping into our greatest potential. And before you know it, we never really, be the thing we want to be in this world. You can be seeing the thing in your head that I want to be that thing. I want to be that thing. But whenever the strategy presents itself, you don't implement on it. You don't go all in because the story is not helping you. It's not empowering you. So that story itself are the beliefs, like I said, the beliefs, the convictions we've had over time is where we start to really change that story. So what I'm saying with all of this is one of the things you must do in this entire process is you must start telling yourself a different story. That you are enough, that you actually have value to give people. You have something that the world needs to hear. You might not be clear on what that thing is first, but believe that with all your heart. The reason why I've spent so much time to work on myself really is because even though I didn't know if I had something in me or I had anything at the time, there was just this belief that my mom put in me at some point when I was younger that I'm going to be great somehow in life. Great how? Where is it going to come from? But at the core of everything I did, it really made me be careful when I was in certain environments. Even when I was in school, in my environment, the kind of people I hang around with, it made me became careful because I didn't want to be the one who would destroy that thing, that great thing in the future that I don't even know where it's going to come from. So the point I'm making with this is that those stories you tell yourself, those stories are very, very important. So you must start rewiring them. The key here is to really start identifying these stories. When you want to do something, what are those stories that come up? These stories might come up in terms of naming your own perceived limitations for you. You're not technical, you cannot do that thing, or you can you even talk well? Are you sure you want to make a video? You people will laugh at you. What do you even have to say? Before you know this thing talk before you not shrink, you keep shrinking, you shrink. Now you now become somebody who knows what to do, but you never take action because the story is not just letting you do that. I hope we are clear on these two first part of the equation because these are very, very, very important. Really, it's the foundation to a lot of things that we want to achieve in life. You must change the stories. You must rewrite them. You must be intentional about creating a different story because once you can start believing that you have some value to provide, there's something in you genuinely there's something in me that I must put out there. Yes, there's something in me I must put out there. I don't know it yet, but I want to work on this thing. There's something in me. Once you start believing that I'm capable of, who is that person? That person did it. I can do it too. There's something in me. Once you start having that positive story and rephrasing your story and then being intentional about the story, you see that it now changes the text. This is the last part, which is your state. Your state really is your emotional state. Your mental state. But before I even proceed, are we clear on the story and the strategy? Are we clear on those two parts? Kindly let's respond on the chat.
Yes, we are.
Yeah, let's respond on the chat. On the chat. Okay,
Yeah,
great.
yes, sir. Yeah, I answer. Okay.
Amazing. So let's type on the chat. There's a chat there. We are going to talk. We're going to use our voice later. But for now, let's just so that we can just stay organized. Okay. All right, good. So since we are clear on those two parts, let's move to the third one, which is the state. The state is your emotional, and your physical, your mental state. You see, this really plays a huge part in our life as well, because let's put it this way now. Let's say you hear somebody's testimonial. Somebody told you that this thing is possible. I bought a new car because of this thing. This thing is really amazing. At that moment, you are going to feel like, wow, it's really, it can work. How did you do it? I'm interested, right? And then you look at it now, just pay attention to your body language. You are excited. Wow, really? Oh, this thing can work. Yes, it can work. Then I'll tell you the strategy. Oh, this is the strategy I did it to. I did this first. I did this first. I did this first. Guess what now happens? Initially, you were excited, right? You felt like you could do it because that person said the person has inspired you. You felt like you could do it. But then the person now tells you the strategy. You now discover the strategy. Guess what now happens in that moment? You now move to the story. The story now come again with those limiting things. Hey, this one, do you think you can do it? Some back in the day when they would tell me, because when I first left the village at the time, I used to have all of these intonations and my Ijo a thing, and then they'll be like, you that cannot even speak English, a person, and that story now, the story, those stories that you've been telling yourself all the while now will now make you feel like, that person, he did that, he wrote he did maybe he produced a course or he did a VSL or he did a book or something. That's what gave him that money. Can you write a book? Start telling you now. Can you write a book? Guess what now start happening? You now start affirming that you cannot do that thing. Guess what happens to your state? Initially, your state was excited to get into this thing. You bought the program, you wanted to go in. When you start seeing the first strategy, you're like, oh, this thing makes sense. Before you know, you now see some challenge, right? You have any value? Guess what? You start shrinking now. Your state now starts going down, going down, going down, going down. You start becoming weak. When you were excited, you felt like you could do anything. But now, when the story comes in, you start going down, going down, going down. Guess what? Now you cannot implement that strategy that you initially felt you could implement before when you heard the person's story. You cannot implement it now because why? Your state is now in a downward spiral. Like I will explain this thing to us, and then we just put yourself in those moments. You realize that the moments where you've really grown in life, when you've pushed yourself forward, yeah, if you notice your state was empowering. You felt like you could take over the world. You felt like you felt unstoppable. You felt like there was something in you that needed to come out. And somehow something forced you into that state and you did move forward and you did something and then something changed, right? And you got a result. You tried something and you got a result. But the moments where you didn't get the result, you realize your state was not really empowering. You were weak somehow, even with the way you talked. You could sense the uncertainty, the disbelief, and your emotions became down. You started feeling weak, depressed, or sad, or something like that, right? You see that in those moments when your emotions are down in the negative way, right? You see that you cannot really see beyond your current reality. I want to achieve that thing. I want to buy a car next year. With this Tinubu regime, where you? I mean, isn't all those people are complaining with your salary, with this one. It's true. This country safe Nigeria. This is our government. Very yeye people. They will do the government safe. When will all these things change? Before you know now, you start feeling powerless to do anything. And that powerless state is always associated with your emotions being down. If you notice, your emotions are always being down. Your body is always down. You're always feeling like a victim. You are defeated in life. And I want you to start, I'm not just saying this thing because I'm trying to tell you this is how things are. Just study yourself, right? Part of all of this section is a reflection on you, right? My own is to put the light on you. Then you see the patterns, which we are going to talk about next. And then you are going to start seeing, yes, thank you. You're going to start seeing how these things start affecting you. And it has affected you for year to year to year to year. That's why you see that if you notice, whenever it's a new year, people are always so quick to tell themselves that, I will achieve this and this year. This year, I'm going to achieve this, I'm going to achieve that, they name all of these 50 billion things they want to achieve. But guess what? At some point during the year, they will during the first maybe 2 weeks after the excitement dies down, because when the year is starting, there's a lot of emotions, energy. New year, this year will not be like before. It will not be like before. I'll do my best this year. Do. But at some point, when the stories start coming in again, they might have getting a new course or a new strategy or new something that they want to use this new year. But at some point, when all these stories start coming in again, they start shrinking. Before you know it, start reducing again, going back to their old habits. Before you know it, it goes back again. Before you know it now, they just stay there. Life now becomes normal because now they've allowed their state down. So the reason why I share these things with you is this year. When you have the right strategy, you need the right story. A story that will empower you. I don't give in to any defeat mentality, any story that will make me feel like I am a victim in that thing. Even if, yes, I'm supposed to be a victim in it. But why would I want to victimize myself? Why would I want to blame the government for doing whatever they want to do? Why would I want to blame that person for saying no to me or rejecting me? Why would I want to do that? Why would I want to blame that person for leaving or whatever? That does not do anything to my state. And if my state is not empowered, guess what? The right strategy is useless in my hand, in anybody's hand. I don't know if I'm making sense to you though. So the point I'm making is that your state, right? Your ability to execute on a strategy that will give you the results you want is highly dependent on your state. And for you to have the right state, you must have the right story, which is the beliefs, the convictions, the things that are running in your mind subconsciously, not the ones that you are aware of, subconsciously, the things that just, because you see those subconscious thoughts, those subconscious beliefs and the mind, the the convictions you have, those are the things that fit in your beliefs. And those beliefs, those things that fits your beliefs, those are things that fits your thoughts. I mean, those thoughts now fit your action. Because your thoughts now control your state. When your thoughts control your state now control your action. So now you will not want to do anything that will scare you or make you feel like I might not win. If I do this thing yesterday, that time I tried this thing, it didn't work. If I try this time, it might not still work. You will not want to go all in on it, right? Compare that with somebody who has this ultimate certainty in them that I'm going to do this, I'm going to use it, no matter what, I'm going to figure it out. Like when I started this entire journey about online thing and all of those things, right? That was the certainty I had that, took me through the entire journey till this day. It's still the thing that makes me still think about ways to invest more in learning more, getting more strategies, right? Because at the end of the day, I know that I have certainty that, I just need the right strategy. That's been my belief from day one, that I need this, right? Even before the internet in life, I just knew that, at some point I just broke free from that mentality that you have to be, my parents are to blame, this one are to blame. I just broke free from that mentality and just believe that, man, I can succeed in this world, I can really make it, but I just need the right strategy. I need somebody to show me what to do. I just know if you can show me what to do, I will get it, I will do it, and I will get the result. That belief is the thing that still runs me till tomorrow, right? That I will be able to make it if I know what to do. So the point of this particular these 3 keys to breakthrough is this: when you are trying to achieve any goal, when you get the strategy, pay attention to the story that comes up. Even when you set a goal for yourself, this is the thing that makes people set small goals. That they start becoming scared. You say you will buy a car this year, or you say you build a house this year. Yeah, you want to see money for this economy. Don't you see what's happening with everything? And guess what? Before you know it, that's not. It's true. Car, which car? That excitement dies down. If you notice it, it dies down. Once it dies down, then you see that you don't go for something bigger anymore. You just stay at that level whereby you are just manage it. Let me just survive today. Let me manage this work. Let me manage this job. After all, what else can I do? They don't leave the secure job because it's secure. At least it's paying my bills for now. If I leave this one, what will happen? This is not advising anybody to leave their job. This is just telling you that sometimes in life, it's about leaping before you can really know if you will fly or not. You just leap and be like, I leaped out of this thing, right? And that leaping comes from the state you are in. If you are in a down state, you will not be able to leap. You might not even go safe. You just be like, no. But when you leap, sometimes that's really the thing that changes everything. So I hope this is really clear. Is it clear? I want us to really get these 3 things, right? These 3 keys to breakthrough. It's so powerful when you get to understand it, when you get to see the patterns. We are going to talk about patterns later on because this is very, very important. I'm going to give you the strategies. I'm going to guide you on how to use them, right? But whether you take action and do the work is going to be determined by your story, the story you've told yourself all these years, or the states you are going to be in. And like I said, your story controls your state. So the thing you want to rewrite most times is, that's why they do affirmations. Affirmation is not to just make things happen for you without doing anything. No, affirmation is to rewrite your subconscious, to feed it with an empowering story so that it can develop thoughts that will allow you get into the state that you need to take action, right? That's the use of all these affirmations, all this mantra that people use all the time, right? So I hope these are very, 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 very clear. So let's proceed to the next phase. The 3 skills to master. So now when it comes to this thing called online money, in the online space, there are 2 types of people who make money online, right? They are the content creators. Although we are all content creators, but there are two types of individuals in them. These two individuals, they have different abilities, and also they benefit from it differently. They are the content creators. There are one side of it are the content creators who just create content, and then put it on social media. And some of them, they have the outliers. The outliers are those people who their content just go very viral and then they become very popular. You see them like the Sabinus, the Pella, the rest of those other people who content creators who are very popular in the very dark man, the rest of them who are popular in the Nigeria space, right? In their world, they will have Mr. Biggs and all of this, right? Those are content creators. They create content that put on social media. Social media rewards them, right? And this are the category of people who struggle the most if you are not at that top, which is the outliers. If you are not lucky enough to have a face that goes viral, right, like the ones that stand out, you are going to struggle. That's why people like us, we don't play in that realm, because it's still putting my hope or my faith in some system to hopefully reward my work, which I don't like. The other aspect of it are the content creation business aspect of it. The content creation business. This is the business part of it. The content creation business part of it are those people who create content and sell content. They don't wait for the algorithm to reward their content before they make money, right? Those are the parts I belong to, right? It's the people that create content and sell it. This is the parts you want to be in, right? It's the parts you want to create content with your wisdom, your life experiences, or anything. Some people create content with movies, right? They create movies are content. They go shoot a movie and they sell the movie they upload it on Netflix and the rest of it, right? So we want to do the aspect of the business which has to do with create content and sell that content, where you are the one who's determining the value of your content based on how much you put inside. Okay, so there are three skills that you need to master to be able to succeed in this aspect of the content creation business. Which there are even two types to do the content, two ways to do the content creation business. One way is to sell music. The other way is to sell videos, which is content around the information, knowledge, strategies, and patterns. So there are three skills you must master to succeed in this area. And not just in this area, really, is to succeed in life, really, because if you look at it this way, when I start explaining this part, you're going to understand. These three skills are: number one, pattern recognition; number two is pattern utilization; and number three is pattern creation. Right? I hope we are taking notes. It's important we take notes in all of this. I'll say share the recording for this as well. Pattern recognition, pattern utilization, and pattern creation. These three things is really what my entire life is based on. It's the thing that really changed my life, and it's how that's why I'm so obsessed with learning, right? You see, the people who grow in life are those people who are able to recognize patterns in their life. So in every result you get, you did something that gave you that result. Whether subconsciously you did that thing or unconsciously, what am I saying? Either you do it consciously or unconsciously, you did something. There's a saying that says, the rich and the poor are all self-made, but only the rich admit it. The poor, they blame someone else. They find someone to shift that blame on, that you are the person that is responsible, or that thing there is the reason, government or whatever, right? But the rich are the ones who admit that they are self-made, because everybody's actually self-made based on patterns. Every day of our life, everything we do, they are all patterns. There's a pattern that you live your life, that you've developed over these years. It might be conscious, it might be subconscious, unconscious rather, but patterns run your day-to-day life. Your habits are patterns. How you think is a pattern. How you see yourself is a pattern. The things you do is a pattern. The career you choose is a pattern. How you solve problems in your field is a pattern. All these patterns are the things you must start recognizing. If you start spend, that's why it's important as a person to take time for yourself, to extract yourself from the day and just focus on you and be somebody who look at your life like you're looking at you're watching a TV. You know, a lot of us like to watch TV after a day's job. We go back, chill and relax and watch TV. That's cool if you don't have anywhere you are going. But if you really want to succeed and get more out of life and build something that's beyond you that can you know also help with your purpose and also help with your finances, you have to become someone who extracts themselves out of the day, which is you are done for the day. Take 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and sit down in a dark room and start watching your life and start looking for the patterns, recognizing the patterns. How did you react to your child? What made you react that way? How did you do this job? What made you do it that way? What did you say? Yeah. What made you do it this way? You start observing patterns. How did you spend your day? Why did you spend it this way? These patterns are things that runs your life. And when you start identifying these patterns, you start seeing the areas that you need to work on. Because when you see something repeat itself over and over again, oh, I did this thing this way and it gave me this result. Oh, the next day, I did this thing this way again, it still gave me this result. And I don't like the result. Oh, today again, I did this thing again, it still gave me this result. I don't like this result that it's giving me. That means I have to correct that pattern. I have to change the approach I'm using in that process, right? It's insane to think that, oh, I'm going to continue repeating that same pattern and then hopefully things are going to just change. The result is just going to be different. It's not going to be different. There's a natural law that rules this entire world, which is the law that allows you to get results, right? You are always going to be consistent to the results you are consistent to the pattern of, if it makes any sense. What I mean by this is, if there are certain patterns you always, okay, let me use a good example here now. One of the things I am very strong on at this phase of my life is to, build a family. Why is this important to me? It's because I came from a background where I didn't have that growing up. And as I started trying to see, okay, how can I build a family? I started looking at patterns that, were that I saw in the relationships that I was involved in my younger stages, in the sense that where the relationships I watched adults around me, get into, how they deal with those relationships, why they didn't last, what they did in this relationship, how they carried that thing into this other relationship, and how that thing destroyed this relationship, how they carried it into this relationship, how they destroyed it, how they carried it into this third one, the fifth one, how they kept on repeating that same patterns, and then later they will now find ways to blame something that, it's because there's a cause in this family that nobody will get married or this one would not happen, right? But yet the patterns were just there. It didn't make sense to me as a child, but then again, when I started looking back in my own life, I started seeing all these patterns in different adults' life around me, right? Even in this thing called wealth creation, making money, and all of these things, you see these patterns in the lives of other people as well. You see them do this thing this way. They make money, spend the money in buying the small the things they need to survive, and then they go again, make money again, waste all the money, everything, go again, waste money. They keep repeating this pattern. It's like rinse and repeat. They do it again over and over and over and over and again. Decades, they're still repeating it. And then they expect things to change, right? But when you are somebody who recognizes patterns, it's going to help you start self-correcting. This is really one of the most powerful things that you can have in your life, right? Self-correcting. This is not just tied to bad patterns. It's also tied to good patterns. In your life, there might be patterns that you've used in your family or in your work, in your career, in life, in different things that has gotten you good results. Now is the time to go recognize those patterns. How did I come from this small village with no help and then got to this stage, retired as this person, and have this achievement and all of these things, have these amazing children? How did you do it? Recognize the patterns. Sit down and start analyzing your life again. It's so much deep work. That's why you see me. I told you that this program is going to be like a 6 months project, because you have to do the work to identify this data. This data itself is what we convert into the structured framework, or the strategy that you now use to help other people, based on you've already become the scapegoat, the experimental lamb, right? By living life that way with your years of experiences, the lessons learned in this process. Now is pattern recognition. What are the patterns I've been using in terms of my money relationship, in terms of my children, in terms of my health as well? What are the patterns? Why have I not suffered a major ailment? Or what did I do when I had this thing that I thought was going to clean my life? What did I do in that process? Recognize those patterns. When you recognize those patterns now, you see, this is one thing, yeah? Pattern recognition. So that's why I talk about you go recognize your patterns, right? In your life, the ones that's working for you, you note them down. The one that's not working for you, you still note them down, because you need to correct those ones, right? But then you now talk about the second one, which is pattern utilization. This is that skill you must learn. These are skills, pattern utilization, how to use patterns. So now you've identified patterns in your life that's not working, and then you need to go find people who have patterns that is working for them around that particular area that you want to get result in. So when you find those people, you get their pattern. Now you need to master the skill of using those patterns, forcing yourself to use those patterns, not going back to the same patterns that have run your life, that have not given you the results you want. It's very, very important, right? And then we'll talk about the third one, which is pattern creation, which is this aspect of creating patterns that will serve you in your life moving forward. Because at this stage is where you now start creating patterns that you can start sharing with other people. These patterns might have already been created in your life, right? The goal here is to identify all of these patterns and then see how you can extract the ones that have worked for you, and then start using it to, before now, it has just been a subconscious pattern that you've not even thought about. You don't think about it when you use it. Now, make it conscious. See it in your life. Identify it. And then start putting it down. Okay, step one of this pattern is I do this thing. Okay, secondly, I do this thing. Thirdly, I do this thing. Fourthly, I do this thing. So this now becomes your own pattern that you've created, that you can now sell as a patent. Is it patents? Patents, they call the word, where you come up with a strategy for doing something, and then you go sell it to other people to use the same thing. Like, okay, this is how I do this thing. Go use it. This is what I do in my life, right? This is really the secret. I recognize pattern. I go find if it's a pattern that's serving me, I turn it into a patent, which is I turn it into a framework or a structure, a strategy, and teach it inside a course or a book or anything I want to use it to sell, right? And then go sell that. If it's a pattern that is not working for me, based on it's not giving me the result I want, I go find people who have that result, and then I recognize a pattern in their own life, right? So the skill of recognizing pattern is very, very important in everything you do, whether you are using it for yourself or somebody else. You recognize a pattern in their own life. Maybe there's somebody you have as a friend or as a colleague or as a boss, or somebody that you've known all these years that has just been very successful in certain things. You want to get their result. Identify the pattern in their life, recognize it, then go utilize it, right? Utilize it and see how you can implement it. You can put it inside your life. You can start using that pattern, and before you know it, from there, you are going to, it's like experimenting, right? You try it, you see that, oh, this person did it this way, but when I tried it this way, it didn't work for me. Maybe because I'm in Nigeria, let me try this strategy. Okay, let me change here and do like this and do like this and do like this. Before you know it, in that process of doing like this, do like, before you know, you now form your own patterns that are serving you. this is the people that really make it in life. They create their own patterns. But before you must create your own patterns, you must get good at recognizing patterns that work, get good at using those patterns that work, and then before you now get to the mastery level, which is creating patterns that work, right? Which at this stage of my life now, I can see a problem and say, okay, this problem, should I go and set something around that topic? Okay, let me just go and create a pattern that works there. For my own, okay, I go, before you know, I come up with my own patterns. I might say, okay, I have a problem in my life, and then I recognize the pattern out there that somebody is using to solve that problem in their own life. I utilize it and then form my own out of that experiment. So I am like the lab dog that uses these things, find it, pay for it, try it. If it works, change my approach. If it doesn't work, change my approach till I try different ones that works, that not give me the result. Then I form a new pattern and then I sell it. So I hope this is very, very clear. Are we getting this? These 3 skills are very, very important because this is what you are going to be doing. Is this one clear? Are we still there? So amazing. So these are the 3 things you are going to be mastering, these 3 skills. If you want to really go into this, if you want to build your own framework, right, your own patterns, you want to get good at these 3 stages. Start recognizing the patterns in your life. We are finding the ones that have been serving you. In this process, you are going to see the ones that have not served you. That's your own assignment to go find a way to find patterns that would help you solve those, to replace those ones that are not serving you. But for the ones that have served you all these years, those are the ones we want to identify. It could be patterns in your careers. It could be patterns in your family, your personal life. It could be patterns in your relationship. It could be patterns on how you utilize money, how you save money, how you invest money, how you get whatever result it is, right? That has helped you in terms of solving a problem that you have. Recognize those patterns and start writing them down. This is why it's a very, very strong personal work. You have to schedule time for this work. If you are somebody who is very, very busy, find a way to do it early morning. So you have to sacrifice going to bed. You have to start going to bed early so you can wake up early as much as 4 a.m. and then spend the first 1 hour to do this work so that you give your best energy to something that's going to help you in your life moving forward, right? So give your best energy there because you're in the morning, that's when your energy is at its peak. When you come out from work, you're already tired. So I can't. You sit down there now, you even fall asleep, and then you don't do anything for that day. So schedule this time for this pattern recognition in the morning. Find time to just do it. I promise you, if you can do this thing every day for just even a month, self, you are going to see so much patterns in your life, so many patterns. The goal is now just to see, okay, which one do you want to perfect, and then turn into a framework that could help, that you could use to build this entire program and process, and then it becomes a source of income later down the line. So that's really the thing we are looking for. Something that you've been using for a long time, a pattern that you've been using for a long time that that has been serving you to give you a particular result. A result that that people are struggling to get out there. Something that that people wish that they have, right? That could really help them if they just use it. Our goal is to package it and then, sell it to these people. So that's really the entire the 3 skills you must really master in this process. So let's talk about the trifecta. Trifecta, this is really I think this is going to be the last topic we talk about today. So I don't overwhelm ourselves. This trifecta has to do with, okay, now we've talked about the personal things we want to do, right? So now let's talk about the market itself, because you are starting a business, right? This is a business, and the first thing in every business is understanding the market and then seeing how you can come up with a or identify a problem in that market and then come up with a solution to that problem that is packaged in a product that we can sell in that market. So this entire process is to see how we can extract those data from you, and then we turn them into the product and we go into this market. So when you talk about market, there are three major things in this market, right? The first one is the niche. And then we talk about the offer and the result. You see, niche times offer equals result. What this simply means is a niche is a group of people who are having the same problem, a similar problem, right? A group of moms who are struggling with let me know, the word is very big in my mouth. This maybe post bets, whatever they call it, it's excess fats. Let's use that, right? Moms that have given birth, new moms are a group of new moms who gave birth and they are struggling with excess fats in their body. They want to slim down, right? This is their own problem. That is, they have to get their body back. They want that problem solved. And the offer is your own solution that you want to give them to help them get this result. This is my pattern, right? I'm not saying that this is the pattern that is done out there. Understand this. You're not thinking about how it's done out there. You're thinking about how you use your own pattern that you use every time, right? Maybe if you're a mom, you are giving birth like 4 or 5 times, and you every time, you know that every time this happens, you only find a way to get back your body very, very quickly. What is the pattern you always go through? What are the strategies that they taught you, or your mom taught you, or you were introduced to, or anyhow, right? That itself is a pattern. When you mix that pattern with the women, when you give that pattern to the women and they come together, it now brings the result, which is they now have a fit body, or whatever it's called, right? That result you are looking for. So when we talk about the niche, what we are really looking for, don't overcomplicate the niche, right? The niche is a group of people. And to have a group of people, you must have one person. So that one person is the person we are really looking at. Who is this person? Who and what is the problem they are struggling with? So, although this would have to come from when you finally identify the pattern you want to go all in on, right? But first of all, you want to know that, okay, when you have a pattern, your offer, you must sell it to a niche, to a group of people. And the way I like to come up with my own niches really is, especially when it comes to things that I want to sell long term, I always think through the lens of I'm trying to help the version of myself that did not know the information I have, or that did not that the version of myself that did not have the information that I currently have. It might be the version of myself of 5 years ago, of 2 years ago, of 3 years ago, of 1 year ago, whatever the version of myself was at that time. That particular version of myself that did not have that do not know what I know now, right? Because that's the person I can help the most. I understand that person to the T. I know what is in their mind. I know what they are thinking, their frustration. I know the thing that's causing them pain. I know the thing that is driving them as a person. I know what that keeps them up at night. I remember when I was still worried all the time, thinking about, man, how can I make money? School fees is coming again. How do I pay school fees? Rent is coming again. How do I pay rent? When I didn't have something that I can trust 100% to always provide that money I need to be able to take care of all of these survival bills, right? That comes up, which is the things you need to run your life on a day-to-day basis. When I didn't have is something I can trust to do that. I know how I was worried. I was always tense, always frustrated, and anxious, and all of these things. I understand that person to a T. And when it comes to a niche, all I just need to do is group that person, a group of fathers or parents who are in this bucket. So what's my solution? This is my solution that I know can help them get out. Because when I look at every other thing that you could do out there, go start a physical business, go start this one, waste money in this one. the best thing will be to monetize their knowledge, their experiences, because that is something they don't have to spend money to do. All they just need to do is do the work to extract that data out and then use it to help people. When I started doing that, that becomes that turns into an offer. I offer it to that group of people. My messaging is intact. I know what I'm saying to them because I understand their pain. I understand what they are doing. I know them very well, right? The result of that is that more people started getting results with my system. People are building their businesses, getting results, and doing their own thing, and then from there, the ripple effect started coming in. So the point I'm making with all of this is that I don't need to struggle to sell the offer because I understand the people who I'm selling the offer to, right? If that makes sense. I don't need to struggle to sell the offer because I understand the people who I'm selling the offer to. And I know that I created a solution to their problem because I know their problem very, very well. I'm not creating a solution to all their problem because that version of myself too has multiple problems. But I'm not creating a solution to all these many problems. I'm just creating a solution to the one I know that I can solve right now that will help his life even better, get better. So in the result now becomes the result now becomes that we start having people who are starting their online businesses through this system and they are making their sales, getting results, and you know they start seeing a possibility of how this thing can build their life and change their entire system. So this is what we are saying. You just need to focus on an individual, and I will advise in all of these things, the person you are looking out for is the version of yourself of whatever time you want to go back into, right? It might be your version of yourself from 10 years ago, the version of yourself from 20 years ago, 5 years ago, whatever time you want to look into that is currently suffering from that particular problem that you want to solve for them. That particular problem you want to solve from them, that you know the solution to solve for them, that you know that you have a pattern that you've been using to solve that particular problem, right? You want to go back to that version and then start from there. We are going to be talking deeper on this later on, right? This is just an overview really to get you informed on what we are actually doing here so that it helps you start thinking through this process and see how you can go back and start recognizing these patterns and note them down. Because from those patterns you've recognized, those are the ones we are going to extract the data from and then build upon. I don't want to be the one to come tell you that this is the best niche to go after, go and do. No, I want it to be from your own data. And then when you feed me that data, from that data, we can now, forge that data. And I say forge, convert that data and manipulate it into something that is going to be an irresistible offer that will continue to help people in that niche, right? So that we can then automate that with the eDreams app later down the line when it's ready, when the offer is ready. So I hope this entire section is very, very clear. Do we understand every part of this? I think at this junction I have to open the room for Q&As so that we can. Yes, Q&As. So at this junction we have to talk about Q&As. Let me stop my screen. Okay. All right, let's go to Q&As. If you have a question, right, what you just want to do is raise your hand. There's a sign called, for those of us who are not used to Zoom, there's a sign called you just raise your hands, right, in the call section so I can see you. And then we can call you up to get your questions answered. Okay, good. So let's go into Q&As now. You can ask them on the chat if you feel like that's more convenient for you as well. Questions. Okay, let me go down. Clear message. Regular. Okay, we have Emmanuel. Okay, is it a question? Okay, like. You want to ask a question, Mr. Emmanuel?
No, no, sir. I'm just appreciating all you have said. It's wonderful.
Amazing, amazing. Thank you. So let's ask questions. Let's ask questions so that your questions can also give birth to our next section, right? I want to see our awareness level, and so that we can carry everybody along. I don't want anybody to miss out on this, right? I'm not going to be doing these live sections again. I don't think so. So maybe I might sell this recording later down the line. Who knows?
Yeah, hello, sir.
Yeah, go ahead. Is this
Yeah, so
well,
it's not a question. I just I just want to appreciate you. This is beautiful, and I believe that this is the beginning of something something great. So I believe in the next session, we're going to delve deeper into this this introduction, this first session.
yeah,
So I don't have a question. Everything you've said is so clear, and I'm just looking forward to the next session. Thank you very much, sir.
amazing,
Thank
amazing.
you.
You're welcome. Okay, let's go to okay, Samsung user. Okay, you can unmute yourself and ask. Samsung user.
Go ahead.
Yes, good evening.
Good evening. Okay, Shaz, while you were explaining during the first round, pattern recognition, pattern utilization, and pattern creation. Now, in that area of pattern utilization, I seem not to be clear about that area. That I found I couldn't really jot down
Okay.
a summary of it, even though I got that of the pattern recognition, 30 minutes of the day, think through your activities and the rest. Then for pattern creation, identify the patterns and see the one that's working for you, note it, and then one by one, you now begin to turn into a framework. But the pattern utilization aspect is what it wasn't clear to me. I don't know if I'm the only one who was distracted then or who just couldn't understand it.
All right,
maybe you can just summarize.
No, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. So those three things are not for the utilization is not for you actually. I think it can also be for you personally. So that when you are recognizing a pattern, it might be that you are recognizing a pattern from somebody who has a result that you want, right? So you recognize that this is the pattern that they are using to get a result. So the utilization there is that you are now, using that pattern, getting good at using patterns that you recognize that are working for someone else, right? Or you can even be using patterns you can even be using patterns that you've used before. You recognize that this pattern, I've been using it before and it has been giving me results, but somehow life happened. I just forgot about it. So let me start using it again. So that utilization of it, using that pattern, that's what it just means, right? So when you identify a pattern, using the pattern itself to ensure that you get the results. So that's what it just stands for.
All right. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Charles.
Yeah, Madam Ruth.
I really appreciate you for your lecture tonight. May God bless you and strengthen you as you wanted to help us. God will keep you. Now, what I want to say is that on this pattern, like for instance, the pattern someone got or get from his family, or maybe a mother, there is a certain pattern one's mother is really exhibiting, and when the person is not getting it well, then the mother trying to advise him or tell him of pattern that she is using, and now you now implement it and it's working for you. Can you teach that one as throw more light on that one and the way it's helping you and you are getting results? Can you use that one?
Yeah, of course. It's something that's giving you positive results, right? A
Yeah.
pattern is only valid when it's giving you the results you want.
Yeah.
So if you know it's something that is giving you the results you want, and you like to pass it down to other mothers or people too, and fine, you can use that as long as it's something that can solve a problem for them. So you can use it.
Okay.
Yeah,
Thank you.
you're welcome.
Hello, Dr. Charles. Good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening, Madam Florence.
Yeah, in our last session, the one we did physical meeting, you said that you are giving everybody assignment that we should go and do self-identification. Is it the same thing as this pattern we are discussing today, sir?
Yes, your identity are your patterns. Your patterns from your identity. I'm just coming from a different perspective so that we can start working on what we've already built upon before, right? So more like this is more around the when I talk about your identity, right? There are things that forms your identity. Number one are your thought processes, right? Your habits, and all of these things are all patterns if you observe them. When something happens, how do you react to that thing? It's a pattern, right? When you want to go into a new adventure, how do you approach it? What's that your mindset towards that? It's a pattern. So all of these things forms that identity that you now call yourself. I'm this, I'm that, right? So it's all linked together. It's everything that is all of them that forms here. This is just identity is like the overall roof of the house, right? So when you break the house now, you now see all of these things inside.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome. So do I have more questions? Okay, I think I see some. You made mention of 3 skills, under skills to master, but okay, that means you missed the other 2. So we have pattern recognition, right? That is your ability to recognize patterns in your life and in other people's life that are working or are not working. When it comes to other people's life, you don't need to worry about whether the pattern is working for them, unless there are people that are close to you that you want to bring their mind to, right? But where I look for other people in other people's life, when I mean other people I buy their courses abroad though, it's patterns that they are using, that they have been using or they use at some point in their life that is working for them, right? So I recognize those patterns and then I go use that pattern. The other one is pattern utilization, right? Using patterns that you know that you've seen worked for other people. When I mean other people, not general other people, you might have a close colleague or somebody you know around you that is getting a result that you know that you want in a certain area, and you admire them for that, right? It must be people you admire that you want to, that are living a version of your life that you will love to live, right? So if you see these people, understand that they are just doing something differently from you. So those things they are doing, that's the pattern we're talking about. How they are doing those things is the pattern. You recognizing those patterns is one of them. You using those patterns is another thing now. Using them, okay, I like this pattern. This person is getting this result because he's doing this way. Oh, let me use it just a normal thing that everybody can relate to now. Maybe we are in a class and there's this person that's always coming on top of that class. And then you get to find out that this person, whenever he goes home, he always reverses his book. He spends an extra 1 hour in the middle of the night to read again. Okay, that pattern makes sense. Let me go and try it. Maybe I will still see how my results, my academic improves. So I go try it. That's the utilization now, right? And then I start trying it. As I start getting good results. And maybe as I try their own pattern, I'm not able to cope because I like my sleep in the night. So let me see, how do I shift it and make it so that it's more convenient for me in my own life? Because, just like we talk about patterns, the person who is using that pattern might be able to use it in that environment they are in. Maybe I'm in a different environment. Maybe they have their own room and me, I'm sleeping with like 5 of my brothers. And now if I want the light in the night, they scream at me. So I can't read at that time. So I have to shift that pattern and make it fit my own world so that I know I can still adapt it without affecting my world. I mean, downgrading the pattern, right? So then I started modifying it until I get a pattern that fits something that allows me to get the result and still use the pattern. Now I've been able to create my pattern, which is the third one, which is pattern creation. So when we talk about pattern creation, this is where we are at. If you want to start, if you want to, how do I put it? If you want to create a strategy, right? If you want to create a program that can help people, when you come say you want to make money online, right? It's all about creating patterns that can help people. So there might be patterns that you've recognized in your life. So now turn that pattern into a step-by-step framework, a strategy, which we are going to talk about later down the line, right? But now it's all about first recognizing the patterns. Now focus on just recognizing the patterns now first in your own life. Identify the ones that are serving you, that have served you for years. That you know that no matter what, this thing I've always gotten this result because of this way I approach this thing, right? Identify those ones first. When you recognize those patterns, then when we come to creation of the patterns, how you can now turn them into frameworks and strategies later down the line, it now be easy for you to just transfer those ones into that, right? But for now, it's about recognizing those patterns. What are those patterns that have served you? And the ones that have not served you, how do you now start working on them so that you can get better patterns that will serve you now, right? Just like I talk about in this entire phase, one of the things you want to do, which is going to be very, very important moving forward, is schedule a time to think about this, to work on this. Preferably 1 hour in the morning. If you try your best to wake up early, just find a way to just get to that point where you can wake up early and do it. Don't leave it in the afternoon or in the evening. I know why I'm telling you this, because at that point in time, your energy is already low, your state is already low, and the body is tired. It will not assimilate much. It will not really come up with creative ideas much. You will not really be paying attention much because there have been so many things in your head already. Work is there, family is there, everything just in your head. But when you wake up first thing and then you spend the first hour to do this, to work on this part of your life, you now start seeing that, as you wake up in the morning, the mind is still calm. So a lot of things will be easy to really navigate and do, right? So schedule a time for this now, right? As we go through this entire process, schedule a time. This is the uncomfortable work. This is the thing that you're going to start doing that is going to set you apart. It's going to make your product stand out, because the more time and more energy you put into this, the more money is going to come. The more money is going to turn into later down the line, right? Because energy is just money. I mean, money is energy. So your energy transfer into money. So the point I'm making is this: the universe knows that you put in a lot of effort into this. It knows, right? It knows. So that's when somebody sees something that, well, this person worked on this thing. There's a lot of thought process that went into this thing, and this is amazing, right? People know. And that's the thing that would really reward your products. I know we are talking about money, but I'm just starting at this phase because this is really the most important thing that can help us really achieve the result. Let's take some questions. Okay, we have, I think Samsung have already answered. Okay, let's ask with Mr. David. Mr. David, you can go ahead.
Okay, good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening, Mr. David.
Thank you very much for impacting a lot in us and actually stirring up those dormant things in our lives to provide solutions to some things. I don't know if this question is too early, but I want to just ask as it is. Having listened to your lecture on recognition, pattern recognition and utilization, I don't know if this recognition and utilization has to be fresh. For example, if like some of us have some things already. We have actually recognized some areas of concerns to us, or things we've suffered from, and maybe we've begun to work on them and put them out there. That's online, just little by little. Do we need to maybe get some fresh things and bring it up to what we are doing now? That's when it is time for us to send some videos to you, or we can select from what we have and then send to you. That's one. The second question is, will there be an opportunity, maybe during the training times, for us to send maybe some of the things that we have at hand? Then you can help us to make choice. That's if you have something in mind, maybe two things in mind, then we are able to send those short videos of seconds or 1 minute videos for you to check, and then you tell us, oh, this one is okay, you can go and develop it, or this one is not okay. Will there be any opportunity like that?
Okay, amazing. Thank you so much for the questions.
Yeah.
The first one is we are starting afresh, regardless of whatever you've done before, right? We're starting afresh because this is, I want everybody to be on the same page as we move forward, right? So as some people are not behind, some people are in front, right? So the idea here is to, with the fresh things you are going to be receiving now, go back and analyze what you already have and how can we make that better. Remember, in all of these things, when we talk about the digital assets, right? The digital asset, what it is content. A course is content, right? A video that walks somebody through a process to solve a problem is a content, is information that is recorded in video format, right? So that itself is what we are uploading on the platform. But what is on the content? What is inside that course or that's a program? That's the thing that differentiates your value in the market, right? So I would advise that we take our time to really think through things around. I think let me even talk about this now, right? Anything that you know you will not buy at the price you're going to buy or let me say anything that you know that you're not going to buy. If they sell it to you, you are going to be disappointed. Do not put it out to other people if it makes sense to you. So what I'm trying to say here is this. That's why I said whatever you're creating now, put that version of yourself before in mind and say, I'm giving this person the best advice on how to solve this problem. So the advice is you're acting like a consultant. Say, I come to you now and I tell you that I have this problem because I've seen you, I've recognized that you are somebody who has been very successful in this area in life. Maybe you've been successful as a mother and you've been able to balance even a successful career as well. And I'm curious, how did you even do it? Me, just one shot now. I'm all over the place. I don't even know how to show off myself. I'm just scattered everywhere. I'm tired. This thing is exhausting. How did you do it? Please advise me, please. Now you say, you now start. What will you tell me in this process? What are the things you did? What are the things you are doing? What are the patterns you are using? Because there must be a pattern that has allowed you succeed or get that result, right? So now that pattern itself are the things we record in this content, right? That we are going to upload in the platform later down the line, right? In this entire phrase now is just to develop it, to ensure that we refine it into something that when you decide to put a price to it, the person is going to be happy when they buy it. In fact, another assignment I'm going to give everybody here again is this. Now is the time to put a price to what you are creating and create from that point. What I mean by this is put a price. How much are you going to sell this thing? If you say you want to sell it in at 10,000 naira, that means you are creating a 10,000 naira value product, right? But if you say you want to sell it at, I want people to buy this thing at 500,000 naira. And I want, even if I buy this thing at 500,000 naira, I want to make sure that I'm happy that I buy it. What would I do? Are these people going to be the same? Somebody said they are selling their house for 10,000 naira and they went to go create 10,000 naira value. And the other person say, I'm selling for 500,000 naira. and I want to, put a 500,000 value, the two value are not going to be the same. Even when you see the amount of work this person put into this thing, it's not going to be the same, right? So now is the time you first decide. I'm going to give you a workbook, a worksheet, right? After this section, and the worksheet is just going to be where you just go answer the value for the things you want to create. How much do you want to price it at? Because remember, we are here to we are developing a product, right? The product is a content that can help somebody solve a particular problem. I don't know the problem you are going to solve. You alone know it. So whatever that problem is, put a price tag to how much you will be willing to pay for that solution, and then make sure that whatever thing we are going to create together is more than that amount you've put to it. It should be more, not the same, more than it. In fact, 10 times more than it. Why? That's how you over deliver, because the person that does the most for a customer actually wins in the market, which is the person that over delivers. I buy a 10,000 product, but you give me over 100,000 value. You're going to blow my mind. Like, that is mind blowing for me. I'm like, wow, this person is just so amazing. And I'm going to tell my friends about this person. Oh, that product, go and buy it, because this thing will solve the problem, right? So start there, put a price to it, and then rework this thing from start. Let's go through this process together. Let's rework it. Whatever you've created is beautiful. I love it. You can start reviewing those things again from the things you are learning from this process. Yeah, you can review them. If you say you want to still stick to that niche, that is, you want to solve that same problem, right? You can continue with that, but make sure you don't stick to the old things you've already created. Let's do the work again to rebuild something new, something fresh. And then the other question you asked, I think that was jumped out of my mind like a monkey, which should be around geez, why this keep me? Please, if you are still available, just kindly ask that second question again. It's coming, but it's jumping again out of it.
We want to know about trifecta.
Okay, the trifecta, yes. The trifecta, that trifecta, is she still available? I'm coming to that. I think I've seen your question. I'll come to that. Okay, I think she's not here again. I don't know.
I think I can remind you.
All right, please go ahead.
The second question she asked is if it will be allowed to make short videos of what we have created before from the other lectures you have lectured us. You know, you gave us assignment then that we should go and work on ourselves, that those things we have worked on ourselves and they put it on video. If you can allow to send it to you, then you cross-check if this anyone is good for to post, or anyone that is not good, then you say, okay, this one you more or less like marking, this one is good, this one is not good.
All right, amazing. So this,
that is what I was trying to say the second time.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you. So this entire phase is a new. We are not doing it. We are not. I'm not looking at things from profit automation, right? This is. I'm assuming everybody here is just starting afresh in this entire process, and we don't know nothing. We've not done nothing before, right? So we're starting afresh for everything. The goal for this is because I've had to simplify some things from that profit automation masterclass, and I want to ensure that we use this new strategy, because it's going to help us get results faster in terms of putting our product together and everything together at the end of the day, right? So we are not reviewing anything for Profit Automation Masterclass. If you want to send something, you can send it down to the community there with my PA that will analyze all of those things, right? So this is just for a different process entirely. But this does not mean that you cannot review or use some of the knowledge you've already worked on before. This is what I'm trying to say. It's not as if you abandon whatever you've created, right? But what I'm saying is that now could be the time you review it if it aligns with the direction we are going together now, so that everybody is, moving at a steady pace. So somebody talk about the trifecta. The trifecta has to do with the niche and your offer, and which equals to the result. So the niche is, when I talk about trifecta, right, the only part you want to focus on in that trifecta is the niche and the offer, which is the group of people or the group of individuals you want to serve, which I already said it should be you of before. You before you discovered that solution to that problem that you are trying to solve. So the problem can be a problem that you experienced at some point in your life, right? And then you were able to figure out a way to solve it from your own experience. It can be problems around your career, family, anything at all that has to do with things that were really challenging for you, that put you in a very challenging spot, right? And you thought that this was impossible to solve, and then finally you got through that phase, right? So it's the niche itself. The group of individuals is a niche. But what we are focusing on is one of those individuals. We're not focusing on everybody now. We're just focusing on one person. Everything you are creating now, create it for one person. That's what I'm saying. Focus on one individual, which is somebody from that is the person of your past, if it makes sense. You can be 10 years ago, 5 years ago, 20 years ago, it doesn't really matter, right? You of your past self. That's the person we are building this product for. The reason why is this, why? Because only you know how frustrating that problem is for that person, because you have experienced it. And it would make more sense to say, you who have experienced the problem and the frustration, the agony that came with that problem, to solve it for that person. Because this is something you've lived through. You suffered for it before, so now you've lived through it. So now you are going back to help that person get through that phase by providing your guidance, your advice. This is what I did differently. First, I did this, I did that, I did this. Don't worry about how you're going to arrange all of these things now. Just know that we are just focusing on that one individual, right? And you are just providing a solution for them. And then it could be that what you know is around is a professional thing, maybe around the business or around how to structure companies, or what based on your career. It's still the same thing. Look back at yourself when you were starting that career, or when you were maybe 10 years inside that career and you're still struggling inside that career. Okay, what did you do differently from the things you've gathered, right? So that's why I say go back to identifying the patterns you've used in different areas of your life to solve different problems. When you start thinking about this every single day, thinking about things you've gone through in terms of challenges that were really, really at the heights of pushing you into a certain direction, giving you a pivot, in your life, shaping you. Those challenges are the things you want to start identifying. What did I do to get out? This thing, I really thought I would never even escape this thing. How did I get out of it? What did I do differently? What even allowed me get out? Recognize the patterns, right? From there, that's where we start drawing out our framework from. That's where we start crafting our products that we can now offer these people later down the line. So if that makes sense. It shows a pattern, and yes, none of hence this is a beautiful question. So what happens when you choose a pattern and you feel like changing down the line? Nothing is written on stones in this entire process, right? You might get clarity on something today, Then tomorrow in the next section now, we might be talking about something else, and you'll be like, wow, this is the epiphany I was looking for. Immediately switch, right? Till the one you have convictions on, you have a strong, you are going to feel it in your gut that this is my purpose. This is why I exist. This is why I must be the one to tell this person about this thing, to solve this problem for them, because you will feel that move, that pillar in your gut. You must feel it. See, this is it, right? For now, I don't want you to wait for it. Because in terms of getting those inspirations and those aha moments, those epiphanies, it doesn't just come when you are waiting. That's why I tell people, don't go through anything we are doing passively, because if you are passive, you are not. Your body is not moving. You're not engaging your mind. And everything is stored in your mind. The data is in there. It's buried in some memory that you might have forgotten some years down the line, right? But when you are engaging it, one day you just come out and be like, wow, this is it. This is it. This is it I want to work on. When you have that certainty, building the product is very, very easy. Everything about the product. I will just sit you here now. You put everything. The data will come out from your head because it's in you already. They don't need to go find it out from anywhere. It's already inside, but it's just triggering it, right? That's what we are trying to do in this process. Trigger it so that the thing will just start coming up, right? That's why I said, take your time to sit down and think through your life, through the data, through the records, the various memories. Just think through, right? And if you already have clarity, beautiful. Still think deeper on it and ask yourself, if this is the only thing they remember about me in this world, is this it? Is this a program that I really want to go 100% on? Make sure you have that conviction in your spirit, in your soul, and you are going to know that. Only you will know that when you find it, right? When you have that now, that's really the power there. That's the that's the state you get into, the excitement. You catch the fire. When you catch that fire, before you know it now, I wouldn't even tell you to start writing. You write a notebook, it's full already, and then the content is already there. Now it's about how to now start trimming it down to fit into a step-by-step process that people can just use. So that's really just the idea here. Do we still have questions? What's the time? We are done already. It's 8 o'clock. It's supposed to be a 2-hour class. So I'm going to be releasing the worksheets. I think today is Saturday. So before Sunday, I'm going to be releasing the worksheet. The goal for that worksheet really is to, why the worksheet? Because they're already preparing it. The guy is just delaying me somehow. Is to just write things down, right? If you can go print it out, fine. If you cannot print it out, get a notebook in this entire process. Jot all of these things down. Start letting the mind come out. The data are there. Just bring them out. Do not make the mistake of judging anything now. Don't make your decision based on this is it. No, this is the area I want to go now. Any idea you have in this entire process, jot it down. Bring them down. Bring them out. Dump them inside somewhere. You can, your safe space that you can reflect on later down the line, and then you are going to have that epiphany before the third section. Remember, this is a pre-section. This is just an overview of the entirety we are doing, right? It's not really the main event yet. Main event starts on the 24th, so let's get ready for that. Saturday 24th, 9 a.m. So I think that's all for today. In the absence of any other question, I wish you all good night and do have a wonderful weekend.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, and God bless you.
Thank you.
I have a question. I'll be putting it there. It's the special.
Okay. I thought it's from your first question. Sorry.
No. This is a very important one, sir.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Now, for me,
yeah,
and I think a few of us in this group who are polymaths. When I say polymath, talking about somebody who has a kind of nature of Leonardo da Vinci or Elon Musk. You know him for PayPal, you know him for Tesla, you know him for rockets, you know him for Neuralink and co. Now, for me, over the years, I've been of service to mankind since 1990. And all what I do is service to a mass audience. Though I've been offering the service, rendering in an analog mode, or I call it primordial online mode. And what you have brought to my notice that made me join the class is that, this thing can really be digitalized. Now, okay, fine. But on the group, you said the one that which you really paid for, you said there's only one product that we can publish.
Yeah.
Now, this now creates a confusion. But I just want a bit of clarity to know which should I choose. What should be the focus of my choice for a niche? Let me give you an example. Could it be like I have a niche now that is restricted to schools in Lagos State, and I have another niche that is national, like our catfish farming now. I influence the revolution, so it's national and continental. And another thing that I introduced to Nigeria, perfect water for drinking, for health and wealth. I'm the biggest seller almost in the whole world. Now, which one should I now focus on now? Is it the one that's restricted to schools in Lagos, influencing kids and all the schools in Lagos that will extend to Nigeria? Or is it the national continental one, which is farming that already have products for it? And everything you said is just to put it together in a week, and I'm just through. Or would that be much more okay for me? Or the global one, because water is everybody's niche. So if I have opportunity for just one product, what should influence my decision? Is it the one that will give me more money, or the one that will have global impact, or the one that are you getting me, sir?
Yeah, I get it.
So which one do you think I should focus on?
I think on that decision,
yes, teach it later.
On that decision, it's going to come as we evolve in the class, yeah. But on that thing, I would say to this is, like I said, money should not be the thing that drives your decision in anything around this thing, because at some point, really, what we are trying
to a world audience.
Yes, it must be something that you can scale, right? Because we cannot focus on just a small demographic of the markets, because then again, you are going to limit the amount of people you could reach. So it must be something that could scale, right? And also something that you genuinely know that this is what you want your name to be tied to, if that's the only thing people know you for, though, right? Because some of our talents, we can say, me, I have a lot of talents, right? But not everything I want my name to be tied to, if it makes sense. There are certain ones. This is why the ones I want to talk about. These are the ones I'm talking about now. So there are other things I could talk about. So the point I'm just making is this: understand that your brand, your identity itself, is tied to this niche. So whatever thing you are saying, okay, this is what I want this thing to be tied to, that's going to be a personal decision based on like your own self work, right? Even though as we evolve in the class, a lot of things are going to be, a lot of things are going to come to you. Like they're just going to come from the conversations we are having, right? Like that. They're just going to come. Then you make your decisions from there. But I expect that when it's time to...
You have answered it. You have answered the question. Sir.
Yeah.
You have answered the question. You said, what do I want my name to be tied to?
Yeah.
My name is known continentally as Mr. Fish. People don't even know my real name. So that's answered it. But it's not the one that's giving me the most money, but it's the one that actually gives me the impact. That's my identity. But the water one gives me a lot more money, US dollars. But so I think I will now see how to now digitalize the one that gives me that identity, Mr. Fish, which is the fish thing. I think you've answered the question. And then if money comes more from it, that's okay. Am I in line with you, sir?
Money can come from anything. Even it's just like I'm saying, it's the satisfaction to say, like with this thing, we are not using nicknames in this. So you remember, like, this is your identity, your name. This is my name tied to this thing, right? I'm known for this thing. This is my brand, Do you understand? And just give it time. I'll say it's too early to even start identifying that now. Give it time.
Okay.
Yeah. All right.
So
Good night,
working
everyone.
on all the niches first, and then. All right, sir. All right. Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Good night, everyone. Bye for now.
Good night.
Bye. Good night.
Good night.
Have a nice rest.
Good night. Good night.
Thank you.
Good night, sir.
Good night.
Good night.
Yeah, good night, everyone. Take care of yourselves.
The class is wonderful.
Thank you.
Blessed, sir.
Thank you. You too.